Child rearing responsibilities. Those who have a tie with their children and feel a sense of responsibility to their children tend to have the why and go to treatment or ANNA for the how. Intact relationships with the family, spouse can be a major protective factor, and trusting relationships with counselors, caseworkers, sponsors can be a start of a real upward spiral. Employment, particularly if that work provides a sense of meaning for the person, or if they have really good relationships with their coworkers, could be a really great protective factor. And trait optimism or proneness to positive affect, which is, again, that just the tendency to look at the positive side of life. Oh, no, I won't get into that. All right, this is why a lot of people say that staying sober is not enough. It takes an attitude change, and often that change comes from having gratitude. And I pulled this out of the NA Basic Text quote. It comes out of page 82 of the NA Basic Text. Attending meetings daily, living a day at a time, and reading literature seems to send our mental attitude back towards the positive, right? And that's back to that trait optimism that happens when people do these things. Pray for the dead and fight like hell for the living. It is important to note that we can help, we can support, we can reach out, we can do our best, and it still may not be enough to save a person's life. Ultimately, we are not omnipotent enough or powerful enough to save another person's life. Studies have shown that on average, each suicide dramatically affects 6 other people. Survivors of suicide, and what I mean by that are people who have lost a person to suicide, not somebody who has tried to kill themselves and has lived. So survivors of suicide tend to receive significantly less support than other people who have lost someone to a disease, accident, or homicide. Again, another instance where suicide is ignored, neglected, and under-supported. It is important that survivors get help and they reach out to others who have gone through similar tragedies. At the end of this presentation, I will show a slide that has contact information for survivors of suicide support group. I encourage anyone who has lost a loved one to suicide to please attend. All right, one last acronym before we finish. TALK. Tell. One of the things that you will hear over and over in AA or you hear it in treatment is that you're only as sick as your secrets. In order for things to get better, you have to talk about it. It is okay to acknowledge that you are having suicidal thoughts. It is not okay to hide them. Ask. Do not be afraid to ask if someone is feeling suicidal. Even if they're not giving you good hints, if something feels off, do not ignore it. Ask directly if they're thinking about killing